Randy, man. I'm happy you could join us for our third interview. I know you said you're not important because you're the first, but now you're important because you're the third. This is a new adventure for us, and I'm glad you could join us. I'm glad.
Honored.
Well, this is the man, Mr. Randy, Soul South, as you can see behind him, distributing pretty much all of Texas or Houston, mostly Houston people.
We got some Dallas, we got some San Antonio. We cover the state, but mostly Houston. Yeah.
Yeah, you got some big ones, you know, got some good ones. So how long you been doing this?
Well, I believe I knocked on your door. It was still 2005.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm super proud to be able to say you were my second customer in this, and at that point I wouldn't have called you a customer. It was just trying out something for friends.
Yeah.
And but that was 2005. Near the end of 2005, Apple started. I mean, iTunes started in 2003, so it was still pretty early. There really wasn't a whole lot of other services out there yet.
Yeah. Well, we're very glad you did it. I mean, it was perfect timing. You know, it was right on time, and you've grown and you've kept going, and a lot of us still here. Some of us have left and came back. You know, it happens. Yeah. So where did you start off in this music business?
I mean, personally, I started out by being a drummer. You know, as a kid, I got pieces of a drum set in my, you know, my parents split it up a few Christmases or something there. But I was a drummer, and you know, as a little kid then, and then as a teenager, I was a drummer. And my brother started a band that just did a whole lot better than I ever did, and I became the manager for that band. Okay. So that was my first music business, and I'm like 20 years old or something when that happens, and I spent about 5 solid years doing that. And maybe around 20 also, I started at Southwest Wholesale. That was the music distribution company where I met you, and where you had your initial success with the CD distribution.
Yeah.
Does that answer that question?
Yeah, that pretty much answered it, and then it became the Anti-Store. I remember the Anti-Store. That was I think I remember when you were starting that. I think I sold you a few pieces at the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely, you know, I got to know you from my, I probably, you know, I'm sure I met you at Southwest before I had anything independently.
Yeah, I was always
going.
There.
Yeah. But when I had my little store, I would go get stuff from you to sell at the store. So, and I mean, it was just called store, I guess, when I was at the flea market. Well, maybe we did have the Anti-Store name there, but I think that was mostly for the website that probably started in 2008. I think the website started.
Okay. But I don't remember just the store, but I remember the Anti-Store because I always thought that was a catchy name.
Yeah, I liked it.
We're the Anti-Store.
Yeah. I bought a domain name the first night I ever went on the internet. That's the one I bought.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if you remember that site, but it was pretty cheap.
Hey, man, when you first started, what can you do? We can't go out and, I remember back in them days, the websites were pretty high too, if you wanted somebody to really build you a good one.
Oh yeah, getting one built, yeah. And that's why I did it all myself, and you know, I'm not mad at it. It was a good start, but it's pretty, I'm glad nobody can see it right now.
Every blue moon, my first one pops up, and I'm like, it's taking so long to load up. I can see why I never really did anything. But yeah, but it's not where you start, it's where you finish. And you know, see, this is where we at right now. Yeah. So what was the big thing that made you go to the digital side instead of the physical?
Well, you know, I mean, as you know, when Southwest went under, and they tried real hard to stay, and they did as good a job as anybody could do at trying to keep that going, but the industry was changing so fast. Who my first real customer was my brother. You know, I had before I got to you, my brother had a record that came out right around that time, and so I'm trying to trying to, get him ahead of the game. And so that's how we figured it out. But it didn't take much to see down the road that, knowing that nobody was on Apple yet. So it didn't take much for me to think that, if this digital thing was really going to work, that I might be at the right place at the right time. And you're always hoping for that when business people or people trying to be business, if you have that right place, right time, then it's on you. If you can't make that work, if you're at
it's
the
good
right
to be
place
a
at the right
blessing,
time,
though.
can't make it work, then sorry. But so I got kind of lucky, I think, and I'm lucky. I had good friends and people who gave me a little bit of trust to get it going, man. I mean, nobody had to do that, and that was, I owe a lot to those people. And obviously, I just sit here complimenting you this whole time, but shit, what if you hadn't vouched for me there in the beginning? I had a couple of really good breaks.
Yeah, you deserved them. I mean, a lot of us was thinking about it, but thinking about it and doing it is another thing, or finding a way to do it. Yeah. And you found a way to do it, so we was already doing business. Why not just say, I'll jump in the car, let's see what we do.
I had a 4-year-old, so I had some motivation to try and make something. I had an okay business, but I was selling CDs on the internet. That was surely going to die out, soon as it did. Luckily, I was definitely well involved in the distribution by the time that was really, really dying.
Yeah, it definitely died on us. I sell a few every now and then. A few people are gonna order on the web. Let me get one. It's not much. It's nothing like the old days, but it's it's interesting. I prefer the digital myself, rather not stock it.
Yeah.
So, do you ever see the wheels turning where it comes back? Where is physical going to make a comeback?
I mean, if you look at vinyl, is that a comeback? I mean, I like vinyl. I liked vinyl. I'm a little done with it already in my head, but I don't really, it's not going to. I don't see a physical product putting a decrease in streaming. I don't see that being a thing. No. I don't think that vinyl is doing that. I think it's a collector thing. People like having a physical item. I buy some records, but I never had a good turntable. I still don't. So, why do I want to listen to a vinyl on a crappy Target turntable and it don't sound good? I've never had that experience of vinyl being great, but streaming is, what I think about it is that it's the ultimate inconvenience for people to use music. It's way more convenient than anything we ever had growing up, and until the next more convenient thing happens, I think we're in streaming until that happens. And there definitely could be something that takes the place of streaming, but I don't think it'll be CDs or vinyl or anything like that, because that's just not convenient. It's cool, and I'm really glad people are buying vinyl, and that people are making vinyl, and if people want to make CDs again and tapes, cool. It's fun, but yeah. I can't see it taking the market over again.
Oh, so that day is passed on that, probably.
That's what I think.
Yeah. I was shocked when I read that the vinyl was making a comeback, but it's getting slower and slower. So yeah. I don't know how can a comeback last if you can't get it fast enough for it to come back.
When the people who are buying vinyl now, and I don't know what's the biggest age group, but when they're moving to their next house or next apartment and they're going to move their big pile of vinyl records, they'll go through what I went through as a kid and start saying, maybe vinyl ain't so cool.
That's true. It's easy to just pick up your phone, take your phone, your playlist with you, and it's in your pocket and you're gone.
The thing I always wanted, like a jukebox or something when I was a kid, I got that in my phone by 10 times better than what I could have imagined as a kid.
Yeah, that's a great thing, you know. I'm happy to be around for all the parts of it, you know, the CD parts, a little part of the resurgence of vinyl. Hope to be around on whatever the next phase is, but I don't know, you know. I don't know how many times you want to repackage the same stuff, so we'll see. But yeah, I think it's been great that you've got in this business, and it's extra pleasure to know somebody from way back in the day, Southwest, and you know, hollering at them, saying, "Hey," when you see them in the back, and then being at the house, and remember in the room, sitting across from you at your desk, and now, you know, bigger location and better things, and you know, employees. It's kind of like we grew up together, you know.
Man, going to the old Bigtyme office with you and McNice over there, and in the tall building, and other people in that building. I know a lot of labels were in there.
Yeah, it was a lot of labels.
That was exciting for me, man. That was those. I mean, you know, that was giving me, like, you know, I kind of came up with rock music, you know, in my 20s there, but seeing how things worked on this side, you know, it was very impressive. I mean, I was like, whoa, man, we really got some business going on, you know, and those were great times for me, man.
Especially on the lower floors for me, like, you know, the big house was down there. They was doing it, and you know, we had about what, 4 or 5 of us in that building. It was nice.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know everybody. I know, you know, you and McNice were the main ones that I would talk to over there.
Yeah. Yeah, we was blessed. We was the Screw House for a moment, so it's like we was really blessed to have Screw, and I was glad we had it. So in this thing, you've had your successes, you've had your wins and losses. Have you had an artist come through here that you'd be like, I missed it, I didn't get that one, or keep it long enough?
Well, does that give me an opportunity to talk about Megan for a second? I mean,
yeah, I was definitely leading there.
We don't take any credit for her success, you know, but it was great to be working with her, you know. She wasn't even here with us for a full year, I think, maybe just about a year, but I mean, anybody who was talking to me at that time heard me talk about her, and again, I don't try not to take any credit for anything. You know, she's her own machine. You know, she did all that in 1501 and T. Ferris. I mean, a great team and great product and great, you know, everything. But I mean, we were there and we loved it. And like I said, I was telling people about her as much as I could. But, like, you know, people from here, you know, I'm just saying, if you talk to me back in that time, I'm telling everybody, I said, man, this is the best new artist I've seen, you know, and that wasn't me, like, guessing or anything. That's me looking at, you know, the numbers and stuff that's coming in. I mean, that was amazing, and it's still amazing every time. You know, I mean, brand new Rolling Stone magazine she's on the cover of this week. It came in, I guess, and man, I mean, she's about as big as you can be, you know. So that was great fun, but I never felt like we didn't get enough. I mean, yeah, I would have loved it if she'd have stayed a little longer. Up until right when they left, we thought we were going to get the next record, but you know, they took the best option, and that's what anybody should do. So I couldn't feel bad about that at all. I mean, we had a great time with her, and I'm sure it you know, gave us some clout to get some other better things, and we actually have had bigger things since she's been here, bigger for us, and so it was great. But yeah, I don't feel too bad about it. You know, when I was at Southwest Wholesale and you know, watched all the different things that happened over there, and you know, there's some great stories from over there about what could have happened and what you know, what took off at the last minute kind of thing. And I think I learned from that. I learned from Robert's, you know, Robert's approach to it, man. He had a great approach to it. I learned a lot from Robert, a whole lot. I mean, I'm sure you know, if you could call it stealing, I mean, but you know, I've always had him in mind, especially in the early days of doing stuff about. He was always so good about, like, you know, if he didn't have an agreement and people did whatever, it was cool. And I've always thought, you know, if I have the option to be like that, I want to be like that. And so, and I mean, that applies to the Megan thing. You know, she could go whenever she wanted, and they did, and it was good for them, and I'm glad, and I think, you know, I just have fun watching her go. You know, it's great.
Yeah, and you're always going to be a part of the beginning, so you know you saw that growing
I hope
and
we
going.
don't get written out of the story, but I don't know why we would. You know, it's cool.
Yeah, I have no reason to be written out, and I mean, people that go deep into the history of it, they'll be like, oh, she started there, but you know, most artists, that's the one thing about this business, we get to enjoy the ride, and sometimes they take a step and you be like, okay, I don't go with that step, but I was here. If it's not her being here, then maybe that step doesn't happen. But
I mean,
she's been the biggest thing in Houston for a while now.
Man, I mean, anywhere she'd be the biggest thing. You know, I mean, if she was in New York, I'm sure she'd be the biggest success story out of New York for a while. I mean, either coast.
She's definitely doing it. I ain't gonna lie, I was shocked that it was a female. I thought it would have been another male.
I remember hearing guys in this business talk about female rappers, and it was never very nice. And I mean, it took somebody like her to smash the image of what people thought it would be. You know, I mean, she gave people a different approach than what they were expecting, and I think. You know, you couldn't deny it. Nobody could deny it. It's just, it was too much its own thing and different. Nobody could deny it that it was great.
Yeah. Well, have you heard any new male artists that might be the next thing from the city?
Well, this is not from the city, but you know, we just got in with the Finesse 2 times, and that thing, well, today it's the #1 trending music on YouTube. So
wow.
I'm pretty sure that's going to be a big deal. Again, you know, we're just a utility for the labels that want to use us, and you know, he'll probably you know, it's very likely that they'll place him with some bigger, better, giant deal, and we'll be just as happy for him as we were for Megan. But that's happening right now, and if you hadn't heard him, people want to hear that. I think it's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see why it's got the buzz that it does. I mean, you know, we love working with our classics. These guys are, you know, still pumping out a lot of great stuff. I mean, great stuff, you know. So.
Yeah, I love the new Kiki. Yeah. I really love it. I'm dying to hear the Slim, and I got the Pokey I need to listen to.
Oh man, the Pokey kind of hit people by surprise, I think, you know, and that was a solid album. It's already a year old, but it's still going strong. Little O had a really good new record.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one either. I'm a little ashamed to say that I've had the Big Pokey for about, I don't know, several weeks now. I don't know, it's a while, but when I first got it, I had it in my hand, and I went into my storage and I sat it down, and I haven't went back, and I kept saying I'm gonna go get it back so I can listen to it, so I can do a review on it, because I was definitely in it. But the Kiki, the minute I got it from you, I put it in, and I was like, wow, I was thoroughly impressed when it stared off with the Justice League. I was like, he got a track from Justice League. No, he was not playing
around. And I first heard the 3-6 Mafia related track, man. I mean, that's amazing. The We From Texas, man. I mean, that's a solid Texas anthem. I mean,
yeah, he had some good tracks on there. Good rapping. I was impressed with it. It definitely rank up there as one of my favorites from Kiki. I really did like it.
Yeah.
And
he just keeps getting bigger and bigger, man.
Hey, that means something when you can keep doing it as you're older.
25 years into that career, and he ain't aging a bit, man.
No, he looks good. He's rapping good, and I like that he's still diversifying himself and willing to go back and work with younger people. And that's going to keep you in the game a lot longer too, if the younger people can accept you. They know how he is, you know. You can't say you've been around, that many years without people being like, let me do the math. Oh, okay. But when you're doing it and you holding your own with younger people, younger people still gonna be like, oh, he still got something.
Yeah.
Jay saved the new 40. 40 is the new 30. A long time ago.
How about, where's 55?
It's the new 45. We get to drop 10 years off, and that's where we at in this
Sounds
game.
good to me. Slim Thug, though, you said something about his record too, and
yeah, I have to. I usually always give Slim a nice review. I'm a Slim Thug fan since way back when Southsiders didn't really jam the North Side stuff, but Slim has always been the one who's able to. I know he's from the North, but to me, he feel like he's from the South, so we're gonna jam Slim.
Yeah, he's just a good dude, man. I mean, I think he's for everybody. He ain't trying to pick a side at this point, Yeah. It's funny when I hear those guys talking about that. I remember all that.
It was real.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wasn't really. I was a real outsider, but I do remember that it was a real situation.
It was definitely a real situation.
Do you know about his new television thing that he did? He's in what do you call those? Reality show. Reality show.
Like hip hop.
Can we cut out some of these things that make me look like an old man?
No.
He's in a reality show where they're going to school. They're going back to I guess it's college. They're going to college. They do like I think it was a 4-week, 6-week course, something like that. And he's one of 8 people, 10 people, something, and all famous people. I watched one episode, and it's really cool. I mean, it's really cool. He's like Slim's the normal one,
What?
There's always like a couple of normal people in a show like that. He's like the normal one, and so it's a pretty good gig for him, I think. But man, so we're real happy to watch the success of the guys that we get to work with.
Yeah, I would watch that. Matter of fact, I might look for that tonight. I have to find the title of that. Yeah. But I'll tell you a funny thing about Slim, and I don't know if he probably even remembers. When we used to throw the party back in the band days, I know you probably remember the band DVDs.
I remember.
And Slim and Lil Mario came to the door, and Slim said, man, look, we don't want to pay to come in, but we want to come in, and I'm going to owe you a favor. I'm gonna be big.
That's business.
And I was like, man, I need money because I had bought like 5-6 rooms. I don't know if you ever been to the Capitol. The rooms were jacked up. You had to pay them for 3 days. I was like, man, everybody got to pay to come in. Mm-hmm. And I didn't let him in.
Oh, man.
And my next to not signing Kiki is one of my most things that I hate that I didn't do. Because I would have loved to call that Flavor a little later because I'm patient.
Wasn't he on isn't he on something? I mean, he's...
Yeah, they wouldn't have favored. Yeah. That was a fee. Yeah, okay. But he was on it and it was a low fee and I'm grateful. And that was him and ESG and they both came in and represented on that. And that was a blessing, but that was also, McKnight was my people person and he definitely did his politicking and got it going.
Man, imagine the life where we made every decision right. It just it ain't like that, but that's a memorable one.
Yeah, I toss it around.
I'd hear him respond to that, see what he has to say.
I was hoping one day I'd get him on the show and I get to ask him if he even remembers. He may not even remember it, but I still remember it as one of those ones.
I bet he remembers.
He probably does, but it was like, man, in them moments you have to make the right decision.
That was some wild stuff. I don't know that you should do interviews about those parties, but
yeah, that's my past life.
I'd like to hear about it.
Everybody's got a past life. Actually, I was not too long ago. I threw away about 10 frames of stills from those days, and I had those pictures for about 25 years, and I'd be like, that don't mean nothing, but I chunked them all away.
It's probably healthy.
Yeah, you have to move on. You have to figure out when to move on. I don't sell the DVDs. I get a lot of requests for them. Yeah. People want to order it. a guy from Japan wanted to license them. He's like, I said, I don't sell them no more. He said, well, just license it to me, I'll sell it. And I was like, nah, I'm a pass. I've closed that chapter.
Every now and then I would get when we were selling stuff like that of yours or whoever's, there was a lot of different kind of things out there. Man, we'd get a call from a parent every now and then, and they'd be yelling at me and like, wow, so we start, dropping that stuff as soon as we got a complaint like that, because I don't know, it's kind of a sticky area.
Yeah, I should have dropped it myself when I first got complaints, but I didn't. I held on a little longer than I should, but I finally got to the point where I was like, you know what? I moved on, and I thank McNice for that, because he had moved on, and he was like, man, don't even say my name mixed with him. So as I started cutting out the hype man, he was in all the movies talking, so I just started, well, why even sell it or have it? So
I guess like for most of us, all money's good until all money's not good.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden,
And now you be like, even with my lyrics about being in the music business still, part of me wants to record, and I get the itch. I get it, and I be crunk, especially like when I was listening to our greatest hits, and I was like, you know what? That was fun, but then always something happens, and one part of that song I remember, this was terrible. This was terrible. Why would I do this again? Oh, why am I even thinking about this? And I think I just posted a reaction because I heard to Tell Me Something Good for the first time in over 30 years on the radio.
Oh, on the
They
radio.
was doing the new school versus the old school.
Oh, yeah.
And you can see it on the video. You can see me smile. Those memories was real happy, and then it just clicks, and it just goes right to, I'm on the plane leaving New York signing with Jive, and my partner at the time saying, it ain't over, it's finna get worse. And I was like, wow, it did get worse. Mm-hmm. It got real worse. And it got so worse, so bad, you missed it. I missed the good part. Yeah. I'm the start. I was there. I believed when nobody believed, but I missed the good part, the fun. But hey,
got to make this time the looking back on it the good part. And, you got plenty from that, even if because it's all you.
Yeah, it is, and that's one of the reasons people ask me, well, why have you been trying to get this channel going and stuff? Because I'd be like, it is me. It's all me. It's my ideas. It's what I want to do. And at the end, if I decide to stop, the channel is still there, or if I decide to do something different, it's still going forward in a different direction. But when you have an artist of that caliber, you derailed when they leave. Like when UGK left, the phone stopped ringing. For a while, we was in there. That's why you'll see the record that we did after they left. It was called Still Afloat, because that's what we was. We was still afloat. The life jacket was on. We was bobbing and trying to keep our head over water. But it wasn't until like a year and a half later we met Screw that we started getting some more legs again.
Legacy-wise, man, that stuff's neck and neck. You could say, well, you even got a better thing, but man, really, they're right up there together. I guess with some of the last couple of UGK records, that probably well exceeded maybe overall sales or something for Screw, but like Houston-wise, they're very compatible legacy-wise.
People, it helps the legacy and people do it, but if you had to live those 3 years in between those records with payroll, you know how it is on those days, and then you'd be like, it didn't come, or and everybody's looking and having their huddle up together, and it was some tough moments in there, but you had to live through that to be able to even be able to say, well, I want to do something else, and that was great. And but I am very fortunate to still be here, and I think that as people like Robert and you, I wouldn't be here, and honestly, even when I was gone on vacation, my state-imposed vacation, you wrote me, you sent me some magazines I couldn't get until the day I got out, but I was in the hospital, you came visit me, Yeah. And I don't know if I've ever told you, but thank you for, the letter when I was in jail, and thank you for the magazines. I would have, man, if I'd have had those magazines, you'd have made me a king. I'd have had Murder Dog in there.
Oh,
they didn't have none of those.
So, yeah, you got there kind of late.
Man, I could have got some extra soups and stuff. Trade. I would let you see my magazine for one soup. You can keep it for an hour. Get it back. I'd have been a kingpin. But nah, I got them on that day, and I still enjoyed them, and I wish they was around still. I like them.
Yeah. Oh man, those things are magical. You look at them now, it's crazy.
They're definitely. I always liked Murder Dog. Even the time they wrote UGK's article against me, I called and fussed, and they gave me they let me say my little piece in there too. So it was cool. Yeah. But we had a lot of good memories back then from those days. But I'm very excited. I still think that there's something brighter for the future, and it may be these NFTs. Everybody seems to think so, and I hope so. But I would love to have another little boost off in the stratosphere, even if it's the old stuff repackaged again. So, but and keep stuff going like that. But I'm glad you could sit down with us, Randy, because we put out some calls, and getting people to be the first is a little bit touchy. I'm sure you know from when you first said, I want to do this distribution. You got to call people that's really going to give you a shot, and I appreciate you sitting down. I know you're tired. It's a little late. You come to work early.
I don't look tired.
No, you don't look tired, but I know you come to work early, and a long day is a long day. And I'm glad that you could be on here with me. And,
I'm honored for sure.
Yeah, man. And y'all keep subscribing so we can see people like you, because I got some good old friends, and I got some people I want to chop it up with. I don't call this interviewing, I call it talking. I'm talking with somebody, cool. And especially friends and stuff. And I appreciate you being on here, giving us the interview.
All right, Russ.
And it wasn't bad. And I think you said this your first interview, right?
I mean, I've interviewed with a couple of things that I don't know if they ever came out. Nobody I didn't ever knew.
Well, okay, I'm gonna run with it. It's just his first interview, and he did great. And this is the legendary Soul South. You're a Texas institution right now too. So we all here, and we happy that you're here. We got to do some stuff, and we didn't have to. At least we get to deal with somebody who's right here. I'm a firm believer. I like to deal with somebody I can, at least if I'm mad or I'm happy, I can at least call or come knock on the door and say, why is this?
It's harder to yell at somebody who's in another state.
Who doesn't answer the phone. You gotta send an email, and then they send you one back and say, we don't know what you're talking about. Send us the link. Let's see that email, your receipt and stuff. So
usually I like that we're here to be able to talk to people.
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah, it's good. And I think it's even better if you're here and you get to hear something, and somebody could be like, hey, I want to do this, and you've been here to help people with that stuff too. So, and we glad.
I don't know if we're still interviewing, but when somebody needs something, or somebody has an idea that's beyond something we already thought of. I've always felt that was a good thing, and that if I'm smart and if I want to keep being, your distributor or whoever's distributor. We've got to get better and smarter all the time, So I always, you've had some good ideas on some things, and I may not have always met you 100%, but I've always, keep in mind the things that you've said, and I think you've made us better, and I think it's a good working relationship.
No. I think so. It's got its times. I had my times I was upset, but I had my times where I was very happy.
I don't see why it should be better than like a brother relationship.
It is a brother relationship.
You're not even. It's hard to be. Man, we're almost 20 years into this distribution thing. It's 17, I guess, but that's a long time.
Yeah, and it's a long time, and it flies by. It never felt that long. I ain't gonna lie, I feel like I'm so glad that you didn't do one deal I presented to you. I don't know if you even remember. You remember when I went to sell you the catalog for $8,000?
Well, I probably said, man, don't do that. I'd love it, but
you
don't
did do
it.
it. And I just want, if I didn't thank you for nothing else, thank you for not buying that catalog for $8,000.
I didn't particularly remember that, to tell you the truth, but
we was at that first office across that desk.
Yeah.
And I was
What am I going to
determined.
not look at you for the rest of my life, you know?
Well, you'd have saw me with my sign on the street. So somebody would have took a picture. I'd have been under the bridge with that. But I thank you.
driving.
I thank you because I was in desperate need at that time. And, you know, anybody else might have said, you know what deal am I going to get? This is a great deal. You know, oh, you just going to give it to me, and you didn't take it. I remember you said, I think we got something else we want to do better. I don't know. I was like, oh, okay. And it worked out. It worked out, you know.
Cool.
But thank you for that. And
well, I love that story. I want to use that for me.
yeah, just in case. I don't tell that story much, but it's been some times we've been saved in spite of my own needs, and I'm thankful. You know, people like you and Robert.
What I'm saying about the getting better, and you know, you're not the only person who's had some ideas for me that I ain't quite gotten around to yet. You know, and sometimes I'm reluctant because I'm me. You're you. I mean, everybody's their own person. Sometimes it's not easy to just hear somebody else's idea and say, yeah, okay, that's exactly what we should do. But you know, like I said, if I want to keep having this job, if I want the honor of continuing to do this thing, you know, it's not just that, but I mean, you know, obviously I got to keep my family fed and keep things going, but you know, I want people to be happy they work with us, you know. So if you know, I welcome anything that you got, you know. And I am, you know, I'm thinking of some particular stuff that we talked about not that long ago, and I've been thinking about it since then, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely, I hope that it's feels like a team effort, at least part of it, you know, what we've done over here. I mean, you know, because I think, you know, we've done a lot, but so easy to say, and people always say that kind of thing, but, you know, we're nothing without the other people, you know. I mean, obviously.
That is true.
Literally nothing without the customers, but, you know, if people hadn't had some input, you know, it'd just be me, you know, and that, I don't know, that you know. Yeah, and I got some great staff too, you know.
Yeah.
Sarah, who's been with me for so long, you know.
Yeah.
She was several years before the distribution, and we got great people on the team. Steve, the business partner, and Chris, and Elijah, you know.
Yeah.
So.
You gotta have good business partners, because if not, it's all one-sided. And I think Dame Dad said, if you don't have somebody who thinks like you or better than you around, then you're not gonna be around. And I worry about that now because it's pretty much it's me. And I miss the input of, you know, Eddie. I don't know if you remember Eddie. He used to be with me all the time, and McNice and.
Yeah, it was Eddie actually
Trina,
over there at the towers.
At the first part, but McNice at the end, and both of them had great ideas, you know. And R.I.P. Eddie, and Mac is doing very good in his graphics business, and you just you need those good people around you, and sometimes they pull you back too when you're thinking about some stuff. Even like I said with the bands, McNice was like, man, that's dead. We don't talk about that no more. Yeah, because you be ready. You so crunk, you like ready to jump. Yeah. And he pulled those. Eddie didn't pull me back as much as McNice, but McNice always pulled me back. But Eddie was kind of like, yeah, let's go do it, guy, and that got me in trouble a lot. But you know, he had some moments where he was insightful. I always looked at Eddie as like my big brother because he was a little older than me. But yeah, I'm very glad you sat down here with me, and you know, one day I can get Steve, and you know, and I'm sure I don't know if he want to do it, but you know, tell him I give him 15, 16 minutes. Yeah. I mean, I like talking to Steve, you know. And I'm glad I didn't talk to Steve that day when we was talking talking about, because I think Steve might have jumped on it. And then I don't know.
Nothing to do with character, but you know.
No, not in a bad way. He's just a businessman. He might have saw that as a good opportunity. He's like, "Look, you gonna do what?"
Probably lucky I didn't discuss that with him. But
but yeah, we've enjoyed talking with you, and thank you. And y'all subscribe and give us a like and give us a comment, and you got something you want to send off to get distributed, send it to Soul South and get it going.
Let's do it.
And thank you very much, Randy, man.
Right,
Once again, appreciate it, man.
All right, thank you.
All right.